Hello, this is Math Teacher Barbie, and let's look at one more example of factoring in algebra. Factoring, whether it be in arithmetic or in algebra, is just the process of unmultiplying or undistributing or showing the multiplication that happened to make the expression that you have or the number that you have. Today, I want to talk about 2x squared plus 4x minus 6 and how we might factor that expression. So I've set out the way we've been doing lately. I went ahead and set out the algebra tiles to match this expression, or they almost match this expression. We have 2x squareds. We have 4 x's. And here we have a plus 6. Now my expression said minus 6. So I don't quite match the expression yet. I need to negate all of those and turn them into negative ones. So now I have a negative 1 minus 1 minus 1 minus 1 minus 1 minus 1, or minus 6 total. So what we've been doing in the other couple of videos is we've been trying to take all of these algebra tiles and make a rectangle. That's not going to work this time. This x squared and these minus 1s aren't going to play nicely together to make large rectangles. So we're going to have to go with a different idea of multiplication. And what I want to think about with multiplication this time is the idea of multiplication is a number of groups times the size of the groups. Right? So that's the thought of multiplication that we're going to be going with, not necessarily the area model this time. It's the groups model, the grouping model. So just to kind of give us a clue of where we want to go with this, to expand this out, we're going to have 2 times x, that's 2x squared, plus 4 times x minus 6. Now 4 is 2 times 2, right? And 6 is 2 times 3. So what do we see in common in all of these terms? I personally see a 2 that each of them has. So when we do this algebraically without our algebra tiles, what we're going to do is we're going to pull that 2 out. Let me make that teal. And then what we're left with in the first term, x times x, or x squared. And the second term is 2x. And in the third term is a minus 3. And so this is going to be our factored form. It's not fully factored yet. There's actually more we can do, and we'll learn about that in a future video. This is a partially factored. What we call this step is we factored out the GCF. The greatest common factor. We looked all the way across and we said, what's the biggest number, what's the biggest factor that they each have in common? So how this plays out in those algebra tiles over there is a little different than the others. What we've been doing is we've been looking for a way to make a rectangle with a rectangle, and then looked at the area model of that. But again, the x squareds and the minus 1s aren't going to play nicely. We're not going to find any way of making a rectangle with those x squareds and those minus 1s together. So what we want to look at is this idea of multiplication being a number of groups times the size of the groups. And if I split this, and the clue here is that I found the 2 common to all of those, I have 2 identical groups. The top one and the bottom one, they're identical. And each group is x squared plus 2x minus 3. So we see that our same number of tiles, our algebra tiles, we broke it up into 2 groups. That's the 2 out in front when we write the algebra expression. 2 groups of x squared plus 2x minus 3. This has been Math Teacher Barbie, and you've got this.